What if one of Hollywood's most beloved love stories was never truly finished? What if the world's most iconic Cinderella tale had a secret second chapter quietly growing behind closed doors, far away from the spotlight? Well, new whispers from inside the industry suggest that Pretty Woman 2 may not be just a dream anymore. Imagine this, a story that defined an entire generation. A film that turned a modern fairy tale into a worldwide phenomenon, suddenly rising again after more than 3 decades. Pretty Woman wasn't just a movie. It became a part of pop culture, quoted, remembered, and replayed even today. But recently, something unusual has started to happen. The entertainment world has been buzzing with quiet talks, small leaks, and odd movements behind the scenes, all pointing toward one surprising idea: Netflix might be working on a secret follow-up. The rumors didn't start loud. They began like soft ripples in the dark, with insiders hinting that a major streaming giant had shown serious interest in reviving a classic romantic property. Soon after, fans noticed that Pretty Woman suddenly climbed streaming charts again, and that Netflix had been negotiating rights for older blockbuster titles. Then a source from inside Hollywood, someone who has worked with major studios, claimed that early discussions about a sequel had already taken place. Nothing official, nothing confirmed. But the hints were strong enough to make people look twice. Why Pretty Woman? Why now? Hollywood has been bringing back beloved stories: Top Gun, Ghostbusters, even The Lion King. Nostalgia sells, and streaming platforms know this better than anyone. A sequel to one of the most iconic romance films ever made could instantly capture global attention. And Netflix, hungry for exclusive hits, might be the perfect home for such a project. But here's the twist. Nothing about this feels random. The sudden rise in online conversations, the unexpected return of the film to trending lists, and silent talks happening between industry names all feel too connected to ignore. Something is moving, something is shifting, and it's making one thing clear: Pretty Woman 2 might be closer than anyone expected. The whispers didn't stop, they only grew louder. What began as small hints soon turned into a steady stream of industry talk, the kind that makes Hollywood insiders raise their eyebrows. Quiet meetings, closed-door discussions, and unusual calendar entries were spotted by people who pay very close attention. And that's when the rumor took its sharpest turn. Netflix might already have a working draft for Pretty Woman 2. It started when a casting assistant, someone who normally keeps silent, mentioned that a modern romantic reboot connected to a 90s classic was looking at potential lead actresses. No names were confirmed, but the list shocked many. It included rising stars known for emotional depth, as well as actresses with the same magnetic charm that made the original film unforgettable. Around the same time, a writer known for their work on streaming hits revealed they had been approached for a high-pressure romantic script with legacy weight. People began connecting the dots. Then came the biggest leak. A production staff member from a major studio claimed that Netflix had quietly acquired early rights to explore a sequel or spiritual continuation of Pretty Woman, not a remake, something new. Something that carries the soul of the original but speaks to the world of 2026. This sparked waves of discussion across online film forums, with fans wondering if the sequel would follow new characters or bring back familiar faces. But here's where things get even more interesting. Documents from a recent Netflix planning meeting showed a mysterious codename, Project PW26. No one officially said what PW stands for, but the timing created a storm of speculation. Entertainment reporters started digging, insiders began talking, and every clue pointed in one direction. Still, the biggest question hangs in the air: are these leaks real, or just Hollywood feeding the fire for attention? Because if even half of these whispers are true, then Netflix might be preparing to bring back one of the most unforgettable love stories of all time. If Netflix really is moving forward with Pretty Woman 2, then the next big question becomes, what story could possibly follow such a legendary film? Fans everywhere have been trying to imagine what a modern sequel would look like, and the theories are surprisingly rich, emotional, and full of new twists that fit today's world. And while nothing is confirmed, The most believable plot idea has begun to take shape, one that blends nostalgia with a fresh new voice. Picture this: Los Angeles, 2026. A city that shines brighter, moves faster, and hides deeper secrets than the one we saw in 1990. In this new version, the sequel doesn't try to retell the same story. Instead, it introduces a young woman who's trying to survive in a world fueled by social media pressure, rising rent, and the dream of breaking free from her past. She's independent, sharp, and refuses to be underestimated, a character shaped by the struggles of a new generation. On the other side of the story is a modern billionaire, but not the classic suit-and-tie businessman. This time, he's a tech visionary running a digital empire, someone powerful but emotionally guarded, a man who built his success from ambition and loneliness. Their worlds collide in the most unexpected way, just like the original, but with challenges that feel real to today's audience: identity, personal worth, and the desire to be seen beyond labels. The heart of the fan theory lies in how the sequel could connect to the original. Some believe the new heroine might cross paths with characters linked to Edward and Vivian, maybe a business meeting, a chance encounter, or a story that reveals how their iconic romance shaped the new generation. It wouldn't replace their love story. It would honor it. The sequel could carry the emotional DNA of the original while opening a new door for younger viewers and the emotional core. It would be the same timeless message: finding love in the most unexpected place, learning to value yourself, and discovering that even in a chaotic world, fairy tales can still appear, just in new forms. Whether fan theory or inside truth, this imagined plot feels too perfect, too cinematic, and too aligned with Netflix's storytelling style to ignore. So, after all the whispers, the clues, and the wild theories, it comes down to one final question: is Pretty Woman 2 actually real, or is Hollywood just stirring the pot again? The answer isn't simple, and maybe that's why the rumor refuses to die. When you look closely, the truth hides somewhere between official silence and suspicious activity that's too strange to overlook. Let's start with what's confirmed. No studio, no producer, and not even Netflix has publicly announced a sequel. On paper, it doesn't exist. But Hollywood doesn't always reveal its secrets early. Major projects, especially reboots of beloved classics, often sit quietly in development until everything is perfectly aligned. And that's exactly where things get interesting. Because behind the scenes, entertainment reporters have noticed patterns that usually appear only when something big is brewing. For example, Netflix recently expanded its catalog of classic romance films, a move that experts say often happens right before the platform launches a related project. Add to that the unusual PW26 codename spotted in internal planning documents, and suddenly the silence feels less like a no and more like a strategic pause. Studios do this to avoid backlash, build anticipation, or lock down contracts before anyone leaks the truth. Meanwhile, the conversations happening online are shaping a strange kind of momentum. Fan pages are growing, discussions are intensifying, and even film critics have started debating what a sequel could mean for modern cinema. When the audience starts asking for something loudly enough, Hollywood listens. And Pretty Woman 2 is becoming one of those ideas that the industry can't easily ignore. But here's the real twist. Even if Netflix hasn't started filming, the wheels may already be turning. Early script explorations, rights discussions, and story pitches could be happening quietly, protected by non-disclosure agreements. This is exactly how surprise sequels begin: slowly, silently, and suddenly. So is it happening? The honest answer is this: Pretty Woman 2 isn't confirmed, but the signs are too loud to dismiss. Something is moving, something is shifting, and this might be the beginning of a brand new chapter in a story the world has never forgotten.